how does that work exactly? You don't even know, do you? You just wiggle your fingers and boom. Rift closes.
Who are you?
Ah, getting ahead of myself again, I see. Dorian of House Parvus, most recently of Minrathous. How do you do?
Another Tevinter. Be cautious with this one.
Suspicious friends you have here. I'll skip the War Council, but I would like to see this breach up close, if you don't mind.
Then you're staying?
Oh, didn't I mention? The South is so charming and rustic. I adore it to little pieces.
I must admit, I'm surprised.
We both saw what could happen, what this Elder One and his cult are trying to do. Not everything from Tevinter is terrible. Some of us have fought for eons against this sort of madness. It's my duty to stand with you. That future will not come to pass.
Stay if you must, but you'll be watched.
Watch your way. I have nothing to hide, and evidently plenty to prove. Put a leash on the rebel mages, I see. Interesting how they seem to like the idea. As if it's a relief to be penned in again.
I take it you don't agree.
Not my place to disagree, is it? It just seems like you're repeating history. It all depends on what you do with these mages later. No guarantee you'll throw them back into circles again, I suppose. I mean, unless you're as thick as you seem. Which would be sad, really.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities, believe me.
Of course I believe you. The moment I saw you, I thought, there's a man who knows quality. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. Brilliant, isn't it? One moment you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I was just hoping you wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. Sorry about that. Archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped. Am I speaking too quickly for you?
I was distracted, that's all.
Distracted? By my wit and charm? I have plenty of both.
How interesting to find someone so aware of his strengths.
I'm a man of many talents. What can I say? A little bird told me you were part of the Carter Inquisitor.
A little bird.
Well, a big bird. A big, indiscreet bird who was drunk at the time.
We all have our little quirks.
Quirks? What a delightful word. That's one way to put it. Back home, you see dwarves everywhere. And not just from the Ambassadoria. Rather odd how in the South, everyone thinks of dwarves as merchants. Limited view, in my opinion. Maybe you'll change that. In the future, one will hear dwarf and think Messiah. Down with stereotypes.
I should go.
Naturally. I could watch you roam Skyhold all day. Here and there you run, checking in on your followers. Why don't they come to you, feed you grapes, rub your shoulders? I suppose it's more fun this way. For me, I mean. You're rather strapping.
I've noticed you're rather strapping yourself.
Of course you have. That only takes eyes.
Luckily, I have those.
You do. A rather fetching pair. At any rate, you didn't pass by to hear me fawn. Something on your mind?
My Lord Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Tevinter.
Is that a note of distaste I detect, Mother Giselle?
I admit his presence here makes me uncomfortable, Inquisitor, but my feelings are of no importance. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
Why exactly would you be contacting Dorian's family?
I didn't contact them, Inquisitor. They contacted me. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped...
If you think I'm going to trick Dorian into meeting his family...
I feared you might say that. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I pray you change your mind, Inquisitor. Perhaps their letter will persuade you. If there is any chance of success in this, it behooves us to act.
Something you need?
Dorian, there's a letter you need to see.
A letter? Is it a naughty letter? A humorous proposal from some Antivan dowager?
Not quite. It's from your father.
From my father. I see. And what does Magister Hallward want, pray tell?
A meeting.
Show me this letter. I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical. I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
That would be hard to do while I stood there.
He expects me to travel with Mother Giselle, although Maker knows why he'd think I would. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
I think you should meet with this retainer. Find out what your family wants.
I didn't ask what you thought, did I? That was unworthy, I apologize. There'd be no harm in hearing what this man of my father's has to say. If I don't like it, however, I want to leave.
That works for me.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out soon enough. Uh-oh, nobody's here. This doesn't bode well.
Dorian.
Father. So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvus couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor. What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush? Kidnapping? Warm family reunion?
This is how it has always been.
Considering you lied to get him here, Dorian has every right to be furious.
You don't know the half of it. But maybe you should.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
That's a big concern in Tevinter, then?
Only if you're trying to live up to an impossible standard. Every Tevinter family is intermarrying to distill the perfect mage, perfect body, perfect mind, the perfect leader. It means every perceived flaw, every aberration is deviant and shameful. It must be hidden.
So that's what all this is about? Who you sleep with?
That's not all it's about.
Dorian, please. If you'll only listen to me.
Why? So you can spout more convenient lies? He taught me to hate blood magic. The resort of the weak mind. Those are his words. But what was the first thing you did when your precious heir refused to play pretend for the rest of his life? You tried to change me.
I only wanted what was best for you.
You wanted the best for you. For your fucking legacy. Anything for that.
You got a lot off your chest. Can't you give him a chance to do the same?
Tell me why you came.
If I knew, I would drive you to the Inquisition.
You didn't. I joined the Inquisition because it's the right thing to do. Once, I had a father who would have known that.
Once, I had a son who trusted me. A trust I betrayed. I only wanted to talk to him, to hear his voice again, to ask him to forgive me.
Maker knows what you must think of me now, after that whole display.
I don't think less of you. More, if possible.
The things you say.
I mean it.
My father never understood. Living a lie, it festers inside of you like poison. You have to fight for what's in your heart.
I agree.
I see you enjoy playing with fire, Inquisitor. At any rate, time to drink myself into a stupor. It's been that sort of day. Join me sometime, if you've a mind.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
I'm being clucked at by a hen, evidently.
Don't play the fool with me, young man.
If I wanted to play the fool, I could be rather more convincing, I assure you.
Your glib tongue does you no credit.
You'd be surprised at the credit my tongue gets me, Your Reverence.
Oh, I...
What's going on here?
It seems the revered mother is concerned about my undue influence over you.
It is just concern. Your worship, you must know how this looks.
You might need to spell it out, my dear.
This man is of Tevinter. His presence at your side, the rumors alone.
What's wrong with him being from Tevinter, specifically?
I'm fully aware that not everyone from the Imperium is the same.
How kind of you to notice. Yet still you bow to the opinion of the masses.
The opinion of the masses is based on centuries of evidence. What would you have me tell them?
The truth?
The truth is I do not know you, and neither do they. Thus, these rumors will continue.
The concerns of the Chantry are no concern of the Inquisition, Mother Giselle.
I'm aware of that. You risk, however, not only the Chantry's opinion.
And if I asked from where these rumors originated?
See, I meant no disrespect, Inquisitor. Only to ask after this man's intentions. If you feel he is without ulterior motive, then I humbly beg forgiveness of you both.
Well, that's something.
Don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
She does, actually. There are rumors, and her concern is well-meaning, if misplaced.
Doesn't matter.
Listen to you. It's good to be the Inquisitor. It does make me wonder. Is my influence over you undue?
Perhaps. But it's the kind of undue influence I enjoy.
No one accused you of being politically astute.
Not today.
I tease you too much, I know.
Oh, I probably deserve it.
I'll have to find something we can do that doesn't involve teasing. Soon, ideally. You seem very interested in my opinions.
I need to talk to you.
About how much you adore me, I assume? I hear that so often.
I was hoping to steal a moment alone with you.
I need to talk to you, he says. Have it your way. But let's go where 100 onlookers won't think I'm stealing the Inquisitor's soul.
Inquisitor?
You seem very interested in my opinions.
I've been told something about an amulet.
How did you hear that? Oh, Liliana. Of course she would find out. Don't make an issue of it. I don't want someone solving my personal problems for me. I'll get the amulet back. Somehow. On my own.
I'm not entirely certain what it is.
The Parvus birthright. The flashy thing you show peons to make them tremble at your impressive lineage. I didn't leave Tevinter with much in the way of coin, so I sold it. Entirely forbidden, of course, and foolish, but I was desperate. I'll figure something out.
You don't even like your family. Why would you want it back?
Because it's mine, and it shouldn't be passed around like candy.
That's the only reason?
It's reason enough. Leave it be.
There are plenty of ways to skin a nug, Dorian. We'll think of something.
And I will. I'll get it back. I lost the amulet. I may not have your resources, but I can't ask you to... You have too many people asking you for everything under the sun. I won't be one of them.
Inquisitor! Good, good. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
What? Is that why we're here? How do you even know about the amulet? I hope you aren't intending to help me get it back. I can do this myself.
I apologize, but that won't be possible. Do forgive me, Inquisitor. But when I heard of your association with Monsieur Parvus, I could not resist. You see, the young man sold me a rather valuable amulet many months ago. Then he returned, asking to buy it back. Why would I simply sell it? Not only is it useful, there are others who could offer much more.
You loathsome little cretin! That's why you were so stubborn.
There is no need for insults, monsieur. I am interested only in doing good business.
Aren't you a merchant? Why not just sell it back?
I am not a fence, monsieur. I only bought your friend's amulet because of what it is. I do business in the Imperium. Having a birthright, even one not your own, is most useful in select situations.
Huh. He's got the right of it there.
That's why I gave the young man so much. If he relinquished it, how is that my doing?
I could just take the amulet. What's to stop me?
One, that I presume his worship is not a thief. Two, the amulet is not here for you to take.
I see.
The Ligue de Celestine is an organization of wealthy noblemen in Orlais. I would join, but I lack the lineage. If someone like you applied pressure, they would admit me. That would be worth the return of the amulet.
What do you think, Dorian?
Leave the man be. I got myself into this. I should get myself out of it.
Perhaps you should accept your friend's help, monsieur.
Kafas! I know what you think, and he's not my friend. He's... Never mind what he is.
As you desire. Even so, that is the price. I shall accept no other.
Are you certain you want to risk angering me, the Herald of Andraste?
Monsieur, I only seek...
I'm well aware of what you seek.
Then you must know I am within my rights. You are not the kind of man to disregard them.
You're wrong about that.
What? You stabbed him? In his own shop?
I did.
To serve your own thuggish needs. Lovely. Thank you for all your help. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I can't believe you killed that fool merchant. I sold him the birthright. It was his to do with as he pleased and my responsibility. Now there's no chance of me getting it back. Not unless... I don't know what. Shatikafas, what a mess.
I'm not going to help you.
As you wish. Should you change your mind, you know the price.
So you'll still cling to my amulet, even if you can't wring anything out of the Inquisitor?
As I told you before, monsieur, it is not for sale. Perhaps you should not have let it go.
Yes, perhaps.
A good day, your worship.
So much for that. Thank you for trying.
Very well. I'll do as you ask.
What? You're going to give in to this cretin?
Do you want your amulet back?
Yes, I do. I simply...
Much obliged, your worship. The moment I receive an invitation from the League, I'll have the amulet delivered. It's been an honor doing business with you.
Influence mongering. I don't want to be in your debt. I don't want to be in anyone's debt.
You don't think?
I don't want to discuss it. Fancy meeting you here.
I have something for you. Here it is.
Now I'm indebted to you. I never wanted this, I told you.
What's this? Not even a thank you.
You are such a frustrating man.
Explain it to me slowly, then.
Someone intelligent would cozy up to the Inquisitor if they could. It'd be foolish not to. He can open doors, get you whatever you want, shower you with gifts and power. That's what they'll say. I'm the Magister who's using you.
Is that all? Go ahead and use me, Dorian. Or are you all talk?
Oh, you are glorious. I was an ass earlier at the Merchants. It's my specialty. I apologize and thank you. I'm going to stop before I say something syrupy, but I won't forget this. And I will repay you. Count on it. Have you been to your quarters lately by chance?
Not recently.
Do, when you have the time. There's something there that might interest you.
I should go.
So long as you promise to return. So, it's all very nice, this flirting business. I am, however, not a nice man. So, here is my proposal. We dispense with the chit-chat and move on to something more primal. It'll set tongues wagging, of course. Not that they aren't already wagging. I suppose it really depends. How bad does the Inquisitor want to be?
I thought you'd never ask.
I like playing hard to get.
And now?
I'm gotten. I like your quarters.
Do you now?
Don't misunderstand. I'm not suggesting we venture into mutual domesticity. I just like your appointments.
Ah.
Not that I couldn't suggest some changes. Your taste is a little austere.
You're leading to something.
I was going to suggest you buy Antiva.
Really?
Don't be ridiculous. Their rugs are completely overrated. I'm curious where this goes, you and I. We've had fun. Perfectly reasonable to leave it here. Get on with the business of killing archdemons and such.
Tell me what you want.
All on me, then.
Should it be all on me?
I like you. More than I should. More than might be wise. We ended here, I walk away. I won't be pleased, but I'd rather now than later. Later might be dangerous.
Why dangerous?
Walking away might be harder then.
I want more than just fun, Dorian. Speechless, I see.
I was expecting something different. Where I come from, anything between two men, it's about pleasure. It's accepted, but taken no further. You learn not to hope for more. You'd be foolish to.
So let's be foolish.
Hard habit to break.
I'm good at breaking things.
Hopefully not everything. Care to, inquisit me again? I'll be more specific in my directions this time.
Show off.
I suppose it really depends. How bad does the Inquisitor want to be?
Do we need to move things this quickly?
Quickly? By my standards, we've been positively chased.
It seems a little sudden.
What is it you want from me exactly? A relationship?
Is that such a terrible idea? You're speechless.
It doesn't happen often. Where I come from, anything between men, it's physical. It doesn't go beyond that. It's not that you don't care, you just don't hope for more.
This is more.
You say that like it's a simple thing, easily imagined. I have no examples with which to compare.
I'm sure we'll muddle through somehow.
Like the Inquisition, make it up as we go.
Works for me.
Clearly. Fine. Have it your way. I am, however, not leaving your quarters empty-handed. It's a matter of pride. I have to admit, it does feel good to have my amulet back. I'm not above a bit of attachment, apparently. Bloody thing. Could I adore you more? Probably not.
I need to talk to you.
Oh. I am, as you say down south, all ears.
This thing between us can't go on.
Of course it can't. The Herald of Andraste carrying on with the Tevinter mage. Preposterous.
I'm serious.
I didn't doubt it for a moment. Too bad. I was hoping for a lively Winterfest gift.
You don't sound too broken up over it.
I could rend my garments, muss up my hair. No, I wouldn't touch my hair. Let's not get carried away. I won't lie. It could have been something. We have to be realistic, yes? If you'll excuse me, a bottle calls. Wallesian brandy is so cheap here, it's criminal. The Inquisitor's work is never done, I see.
I'd like to talk to you about something.
How ominous. Has my father finally come up with a decent offer to buy me from you?
No, it's nothing like that.
I wouldn't blame you. My father's a very wealthy man.
I meant I wanted to talk about us.
I see. What's the latest news on the us front, then?
I was hoping to get to know you better.
You and I. People will talk.
Let them.
All right. We'll see how this goes. Don't say I didn't warn you.
There is a rumor being circulated. I find it hard to credit, but it suggests you and Dorian are
Are what?
romantically involved.
Are you asking because you're jealous?
I was simply concerned, nothing more.
Concerned?
For your reputation and that of the Inquisition, I'll happily leave the matter in your hands.
This is all so familiar. I half expect my mother to materialize from the crowd and criticize my manners.
Don't wear yourself out mingling. I expect a dance before this is over.
Dancing with the evil Magister in full view of every noble in Orlais. How shocking.
They'll live.
You say that now. If you can find me 10 silk scarves, I've got a dance that will really shock them. There was an ancient dowager looking for you. Said she had 12 daughters. I told her you'd left already. You can thank me later or now. But you look lost in thought. Something on your mind?
This isn't over yet. Corypheus will strike back at us for this loss.
Eventually. Not right this second. Even when he does, it's not as if we won't be expecting it. Not this time. What you need is a distraction. I have just the thing. Let's dance.
I was hoping you'd ask.
Thank goodness one of us has a little initiative. Marvelous business, the Winter Palace. You saved an empress, and now she's eating out of your hand. Perfect mental image. All this dancing, politics, and murder makes me a bit homesick.
Personally, I'll remember our dance.
There could have been more corpses about. Although I suppose we might have tripped over them.
You're a grim young man, Dorian.
Nonsense. I simply enjoy the drama. I hope you tried the ham they were serving, by the way. Tasted of despair. It's fascinating.
I need to talk to you.
Oh. I am, as you say down south, all ears.
I thought we could discuss what happens after.
Ah, yes. After. Dreadful thing, after. Let's see. Assuming one or both of us aren't slaughtered along the way, what do you wish to happen? We could go our separate ways if you prefer. I've been a port in a storm before. I would understand.
Are you saying this because that's what you want?
You're the Inquisitor. You're the one with responsibilities. I am but an adornment upon your arm.
You know you're more than that to me.
You're very sentimental for someone who's killed as many people as you have.
You bring it out in me.
Sweet maker. Next you'll be making calf eyes at puppies. I don't know what the future holds. For us or anything. That's my honest answer. Once Corypheus is defeated, when this is over, I'd like to talk about it more, if you would. You have remarkably little here on early Tevinter history. All these gifts to the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio. Trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on Sunday, this is evidently the place to find it.
That's the Dorian I know, critiquing every book in my library.
I wouldn't have to, if you could find some rebellious heretic archivist to join the cause.
Are there rebellious archivists? Other than you, that is.
If Corypheus ever starts burning masterworks of literature, I'm sure a few will pop up. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
When we fell into the chasm, into the Fade, I thought you were done for. I don't know if I can forgive you for that moment.
Forgive me? You were right there with me the entire time.
For making me think you were dead! You sent me ahead and then didn't follow. For just a moment, I was certain you wouldn't. I thought, this is it. This is where I finally lose him forever. Are you... all right?
It was like walking in a nightmare, but everything was real. I couldn't...
It's as I thought. The Fade is an ordeal under normal circumstances. To be the only real thing there, beyond description. That any of us made it out alive is difficult to believe. That you made it out, a miracle. You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years. Corypheus and his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blights. In comparison.
At least you were at my side.
No offense, but I'd almost rather I hadn't been.
No sense of adventure. That's surprising.
I've not your talent for survival. And not everyone is as discerning as I. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Who knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed? Not all of them will be as lucky as you. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many will see this as a challenge.
You don't number among them.
It's tempting, but I am no fool. There are enough idiots in the world who think if they just use enough blood magic, their problems will vanish. It's exactly the sort of thing I want to stop back home. This I don't need. What I do need is a copy of the Liberalum. I'll wager I can find Corypheus' real name. If I can prove he was a grasping ankle-biter with no family to speak of, the luster would come right off. Wish me luck. I do love how you're always on the go. It's tiring to watch you.
I need to talk to you.
Just talk? Such a pity.
Let's do something interesting.
More interesting than wandering the countryside killing random strangers? Perish the thought. Sad we aren't in Minrathous. I could show you 100 ways to shame your ancestors, but we'll make do.
Immortality nor your life.
Thoughts? She is right about only one thing. We should take the power which lies in that well.
If it is truly between you and her, then let her take the risk. Make her help us all.
I don't want to risk losing you to a well.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
If anyone is to use the well, it will be me.
Estis by Umo Carnavarum. If you don't come through this, I swear I'll kill you. Not dead. Well, that's a relief. So, good? Bad? I'm dying to know. What happened at the Elven Temple? It's got me thinking. I should go back, shouldn't I? To Tevinter. Once this is done. If we're still alive. All my talk of how terribly wrong things are back home. But what do I do about it? Nothing.
How does this relate to the Elven Temple?
It was history, right there. Staring us in the face. Maybe my people can atone for what we've done. There is something still left to restore. Maybe not all of us want to, but that could be altered. If you can change minds, so can I.
You would just leave? What about...
Us? Trust me, Amatus. It would give me no pleasure to leave your side. You make monumental decisions affecting the entire world. How can I not consider some of my own?
I need you at my side. Now more than ever.
Emotional blackmail is a fine thing to pull out of your arsenal.
But I didn't...
I'm joking. I'll think about it. Closely. This is your fault, remember? You inspired me with your marvelous antics. You're shaping the world, for good or ill. How could I aspire to do any less? If it means proving that Tevinter can be better, that there's hope even for my homeland, I would do anything. Could I adore you more? Probably not.
I need to talk to you.
About how much you adore me, I assume? I hear that so often.
I was hoping to steal a moment alone with you.
You have but to ask. Amatus. Lead the way. Everyone remember not to look down.
Are you saying that because you already did?
Let's not start a whole game of who looked down and suddenly felt the weight of their own mortality, shall we? Some of us have to concentrate on walking.
I may have already looked.
Just try not to think about it. Or fall. Falling would be worse. Nobody wants to be the one to tell the world the Inquisitor fell off a log into an abyss.
Then it's over. How lovely.
And you're alive. And I'm alive. Incredible, isn't it? I was passing through the hall this morning and a serving girl saw me and squealed. Actually squealed, dropped her laundry and everything, such a mess. She was completely breathless. You were at the battle with the evil one, weren't you? I didn't even get a chance to answer. She hugged me. Hugged me. This is your influence.
Admit it, you're having a ball.
I don't trust camaraderie, all these people smiling, buying me drinks. It's unnatural. Mind you, I can't say I hate the notion of being the good Tevinter. I suppose you can't all be evil bastards. The blacksmith said that, and he spat when we first met. I hope my father hears. He will shit his small clothes from shock, I swear.
I'm happy you're here, after all that's happened.
I fully expected to die. It would have been thematically appropriate. And you could have been a martyr. Oh, the songs they would have composed.
There will still be songs.
Yes, but they won't have the same gravitas. We'll just have to be satisfied with being alive. And together. I've decided to stay with the Inquisition. For now.
You will?
There's no you in Tevinter. What else matters? Going somewhere, Amatus? You didn't think one brief chat would be enough, did you?
You do know we have all the time in the world now.
You say that, but I'm not waiting until the sky splits open again. See? Much better. Yes, I'm sure you have all the things to say. 2 things in private before you run off. First, you are terribly dull and I hate you.
And what's the second?
I hope this ends soon. You can hear the collective gasps. A mage as divine. It's like home, but with less blood magic. It will be difficult to return to Tevinter after all this, and leaving you. Most difficult of all. I'd almost rather let the Imperium rot. Such is my lot. Just a little longer, then. What's to come, I wonder? My guess, a plague of bees.
Inquisitor, I want you to know that I am your friend. I will always be your friend.
Oh, well, that's...
So I hope to give you sound advice on this momentous day. Do what is in your heart, my friend, no matter what anyone might tell you.
That's a lovely sentiment, Cassandra.
Marriage is much more than a lovely sentiment, Inquisitor.
Marriage?
Of course, Dorian being Tevinter will raise eyebrows across the Empire, but if that is you... You're not proposing to anyone. I am going to kill Varric. Why do I believe everything he says? Why?
He said I was going to propose?
He mentioned a proposal. I suppose I filled in the blanks. Or he did this on purpose. That dwarf gets entirely too much joy from my discomfort.
So, did you mean what you said?
Being Inquisitor has brought you good things. Many good things. But only a few have been by your choice. Take what happiness you can from those and do not let them go. That is all I meant to say. Advice from a friend for the days to come.
What are the cheese wheels for?
It pains me that you even have to ask. You've clearly been living too long in barely civilized conditions.
Did you hear something?
Relax, darling. It's spa day. How have you been? It seems ages since we've spoken. How are your international relations with our favorite Tevinter Magister-to-be?
I would never kiss and tell, Vivienne. You know that.
Merely expressing concern for your well-being, my dear. Someone ought to.
Ole is on your side, Lord Parvis. The Inquisition support is not a thing to lose lightly.
Which is why the Orlesian court is circling it with a net and collar? But you'll have to excuse me. I see an old friend I must greet. Amatus. Wading through all the pomp and circumstance I see.
You're back after being away in Tevinter for a month, and this is how you greet me.
I have an apology ready.
What have you learned about this council?
Orlais wants the Inquisition tamed, Ferelden wants it gone, the Chantry meddles, and Tevinter sends but one ambassador. That's me, by the way. A reward for my interest in the South. Thankfully, Ambassador Pavis is a token appointment. Call on me as you like.
As the most eloquent dwarf you know, Sparkles...
Speech! Speech! Way too much speech.
Varric, there's really no need.
What's going on?
Inquisitor! You're just in time. Sparkles, the Imperium doesn't deserve you. Or want you. It may even kill you. But we'll miss you. If it counts. And you didn't know. Okay, folks. Time to take the party elsewhere.
Toma never wanted any. I swear.
Leave him.
It's true. I couldn't stay away from Tevinter forever. I'm leaving as soon as the Exalted Council is done.
But you weren't going to tell me that, or discuss it with me first.
I didn't want you to find out like this. Frankly, I've been dreading this conversation, but here it is. My father is dead. Assassinated, I believe. I received notice this morning. A perversely cheerful letter congratulating me on assuming his seat in the Magisterium. We only met a few times while I was home. He didn't say anything about keeping me as his heir. This ambassadorship, his doing, I'm told. He must have wanted me away when the trouble began. I have to go back.
So you'll truly be a magister?
Oh, yes. I can't wait to degrade the Magisterium with my presence. A new outfit is required.
And then what?
I find my father's killers and kill them back. Then I find those giving Tevinter a bad name and kill them. They're most likely the same people, so that should make the job easier.
You'll need help. I could go with you.
Not this time, Amatus. I won't be entirely without support. Maevaris has gathered other magisters who feel as we do. We'll be an actual faction in the Magisterium. I'll teach them manners, take them shopping. It'll be fun.
I know it was complicated, but I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you. It still doesn't feel real.
What of us? This is it, then?
Nonsense. There will always be an us. We'll just be farther apart for a time. Now, don't pout. They'll put that expression on a statue, and then you'll be sorry.
You think this is funny?
Nothing about this is funny. I am sorry, for what it's worth.
I guess there's nothing more to say.
There is one thing. A present. a going-away present. It's a sending crystal. Amazing what friendship with the Inquisition gives you access to. If I get in over my head, or you're overwhelmed with sorrow for lack of my velvety voice... magic. What? You didn't think I would just leave and you'd never hear from me again, did you? You are the man I love, Amatus. Nothing will truly keep us apart. Now let's finish the good wine before the others get back. Always wonderful to see you, Amatus. Why didn't you say something? I could have... I don't know, something.
Whatever happens, I wouldn't trade the years we've had together for anything. I love you.
I knew you would break my heart, you bloody bastard.
All right, Bianca. Let's show all the tall people how it's done. One last time.
Thank you. All of you.
Are you all right?
We should hurry.
That sounded bad. Hold on a little longer.
My agents have found nothing. With the illusions, he could be anywhere.
Maintaining the Inquisition, even as a peacekeeping force, leaves us vulnerable to agents of the Dread Wolf.
But also gives us the strength to respond.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will stop Solus by any means necessary.